I was meditating yesterday on the
Mm,
school, as I do occasionally, and
mm,
I had the image of this boat. It was a big, tall ship type of boat, all sorts of sails and rigging, and it was kind of golden. It was nice. Yeah, and it was going in a direction, and everyone was in it, like loads and loads of people, and we were going into new terrain together, just new ocean.
mm,
I thought like that's the edge that we're on all the time. It's like coming to new terrain and trying
mm.
to turn our eyes in a different direction, a direction we don't know. And it made me so happy because it felt like a chance for everyone to kind of bring their difference in a sort of cooperation together. So,
Mm.
yeah,
That's beautiful.
it was.
Mm.
And a real clarity to it too. It's like it was going with the sea, with with the tide. It wasn't sort of working on its own. It had all this support from life, and it was really nice.
Oh,
Yeah, and actually, Donna, the thing that you brought up at some point in school,
Ah, that thing.
when you said, when you somebody was like, that's the answer, this is the answer, and you were like, is this the answer?
mm,
I, I think somehow that's related to the boat. And I think this is one of the answers. I don't think it's the answer. I think it's an answer. And
mm,
and this idea about going into new terrain, new territory, and not knowing exactly how to do it,
mm.
that we all have to do it together,
Yeah.
um, and that it's not the only way to go into new terrain, and the terrain we're going into is not the only new terrain.
Mm,
Right.
So what I mean is I'm thinking about the kinds of things that we're saying about the school online, that let's do something different than this thing that we're doing, which is feeling responsible for the planet and getting into the pressure of that responsibility, and we have to use our voices and speak up, and like as if we can do things like that, and if as if that's our only job is to see it all and hold it all. Um and so we're inviting people to do something different than that, but the different thing we're inviting people to isn't the only different thing, that it's
yeah.
this particular boat going into this particular territory with these particular people.
Right.
I love that. And I'm like, what if our boat is in the wrong direction?
Is there a right direction? Or what is the worry? I'm curious.
What if, what if we're doing something wrong? Sounds awful. But yeah, I worry. I don't know that we are that we're not doing anything like truly helpful on the like grand scheme of things.
Yeah, and we've been with this one before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you know if you were doing something helpful in the grand scheme of things? Like, what would
But
be the
you,
sign?
oh, right. I don't know, 'cause, but that's where I'm like, that's where you wonder about the direction. But how could you tell? Do you guys want to start over somewhere less
That's great.
melancholy
No,
and with less
no,
despair?
no, no. Despair arises when you're on a boat going into new terrain. Despair arises, doubt arises, fear
That's right.
arises. Am I doing the right thing arises. What am I leaving behind arises. Everything arises. It's okay to be where we are with what arises.
Yeah.
In fact, what else is there to do right now? That's it.
But I feel like the grace is that we are together in the yeah.
It's pretty great. I'm curious about like what it's been like so far, or what's changed, or what that path has been like. Something.
Mm. It's really hard to put into words what happens and what it's been like.
Mm.
One of my answers to the question about what school is that is that is a regular meeting time with really cool people, like the coolest. Um, and then another was that it was this place where you get to try on stuff. Like, yeah, like you come in and maybe, and you see this all the time, that people are aware of kind of like how they typically respond to something. And you see them like make a different choice, like want to try on a different choice or response, and yeah, I guess so. It's a place where you really come to be aware of your your stories and also feel a little room around and choice around um yeah what to go with, and you get to try on these other stories in other ways. mm, yeah, and maybe like uh, and you also get to try like, what if I really go in on my story, like take it even more deep and more extreme, like yeah, you just try to you get to try it on. Mm.
Wonderful.
That's what
Yeah.
it's like so far.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
I have to go back to the boat for a second. This is just another thing to add to this metaphor is that the thing that we're doing in the boat is not picking a direction.
Mm.
The thing that we're doing in the boat is finding how to go with the wind.
Mm.
There you go.
And we are setting up our boat and setting, I don't know, nautical stuff, but we're doing things so that sails and what have you, so that we get to be pushed. We get to be led.
Mm.
And so in that way, and we orient toward the wind every time, which is life. And that's what the other things maybe don't offer. I don't mean like people's work, but I mean these other orientations that we have now. Maybe they aren't offering a way to let life, to orient toward life and where life wants to move us.
Yeah.
So I think when we're in the boat and doing that, it's like we have to sort of remember every time, oh no, we're not choosing, we're letting, we're allowing, we're being with what's here. If it's a strong wind or no wind, like we're being with what's happening. And that's what our orientation is all the time. And not the decisions that we're making about what's right and what should happen and where we should go, what we should do with this. So then there's never a wrong. There's never a mistake.
And we also, like what you were saying about old stories, it's really important what you said, that we're not trying to go in a direction, that we're trimming our sails to the direction of aliveness and life and presence, like what is present, what demands where, and we have to put our attention in that direction. So when you're talking about, yeah, old stories come up, we notice because they pull us away from the work of sailing the boat together, and we start to notice, ooh, we're flapping our sails a bit here, or oh look, I'm doing that thing again where I I'm depressed and I want to jump overboard or whatever, so we have to like pull the person back, or we notice, oh shit, this one needs some attention because there's some real stuff arising, so we look after that. So it's like, how do we be with what's there exactly, and that's what you talk about, becoming aware of the picture and what is the old story and what is possible and how can I respond to this moment.
Yeah. That stuff about letting really makes me squirm.
Yeah.
It's so hard. It's so hard. Yeah. And that really makes me that really lands how this is a different orientation than what we're used to.
Yeah, because when you don't have an engine, you can't go against the wind. You have to go with life. But if we're in like engine mode where we're trying to direct everything all the time and we're using external stuff to get the boat to go in direction, then we're taking something from, we're exhausting ourselves and we're exhausting our system. This metaphor's fun, isn't it? I could get really into this. I feel like I should come back. But yeah, that letting is that is the real difference, I think. It's like letting life, trusting life, like in a different way.
But Donna, I feel like it's so funny to hear you say that, because you're a person who does exactly that. You drop the thing in, something moves through you and you say it. You bring things, you bring different things, you bring hard things.
And you bubble and you burst out.
I know. I like, yeah. It is it is intentional. Like I guess it does feel like the right thing, even if it's uncomfortable. Because it's like, what else is worth doing?
I can't stop thinking about pirates. I just can't stop.
What? Where's the pirate?
I don't know. I mean, obviously not like the old school kind, but there's something about, that kind of creating a culture outside of, a culture that isn't goal oriented. It's just trying to. I mean, I know that I guess they stole stuff, but I think that there was a sort of ethos behind the whole situation. Like, I don't think it was a sort of an anti. It was a sort of something outside of the kind of the rules of the land. The kind of the the social governance, the current paradigm. They went to the sea because the sea was a place where they could find freedom and adventure and new places and new spaces and new people
And create their own culture.
and create their own culture, their own rules. Yeah.
And self-govern.
Self-govern, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And they're not so interested in the kind of rights and wrongs, but more in the like what is needed and what is happening and how do we respond to that.
Donna, who do you think is a fit for the school? Like what kind of person?
A person who's willing to tolerate a lot of discomfort. Yeah, I mean, I feel like people who are willing to sit with the discomfort of being on a freaking boat and not having map. Do we have a map? Or like a destination, and yeah, some people really, when we were laughing and we're saying no one's gonna want in, but people really want that. They want to be at the edge of things. They find great satisfaction in being with the mystery. And yeah, so and the most fabulous part is you get to be with a mystery with other people. Which I guess has its drawbacks because because like you said, we're frequently having to tend to each other um on the path. But also why who would want to do the path alone, right? It's kind of worth it, I think. And also I guess I also like I think it makes the path the responding to each other.
I was thinking about what you said and just thinking maybe it's something about the loneliness of being together sometimes that also shows us that we're not alone. If that makes any sense, it's almost like you're with others and then you experience this kind of discomfort and all these, and then in that process you start to understand that that we're not, even when we're alone, we're not separate, and part of that discomfort is part of what tells us that as well. Maybe a way to say it is, if I'm not separate, it's okay for me to feel lonely. It's okay for me to be alone sometimes because I'm not separate.
Yeah.
Whether I'm together or not together, I'm not separate. And if I feel that and I know that and I have faith in that, then it's okay for loneliness to arise, whether I'm alone or not. Alone, the feeling of loneliness becomes a separate thing, something we can be with, becomes less of a problem to solve and more of an experience,
Yeah.
a shared experience.
Yeah, because and I don't think this is I think this is something that you begin to I'm not going to generalize, but I think this is something that I've begun to get a sense of. I think it takes time. I think it takes time to
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
to accept that as like a fundamental truth.
Yeah.
But I do feel like you get a sense of just being connected always. My nights are easier.
Your nights are easy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. Wow.
Like people want to be connected, and they they're delighted by um your desire to connect. Like, yeah, it's so welcome, and people let you know, and I think that's what makes me like, yeah, rest into it a little bit.
Well, thank you for staying with it
Mm.
with us as we stay with it.
Yeah.